how to get started running. Now it's one of my favorite questions because it gets people into it. Now a couple of years ago, more than that, for 3 years I was coaching in the north of Thailand, a couple of schools, an orphanage and a private school, like night and day difference. But to get kids started into running is exactly the same as getting adults started into running. Now maybe you did some sport at school, you got some sporting background, maybe it's been a while, maybe you got into a career, you've been sedentary in the office, maybe you've done other things, you're coming from different starting points, maybe you play some tennis, maybe you play some football, but you want to get into running. Doesn't matter where you're starting, you're obviously going to accelerate further, but the starting point is the same. Essentially, whatever it is you've been doing, you can run for 30 seconds. You could probably run for 1 minute. My starting advice to get into running is, first of all, get into it at a really, really low level entry point, which I'll describe to you in a minute. But learn to enjoy it. It's got to be fun. It's like anything you put into your life. It has to be fun. You have to make it fun. Otherwise, you're not going to stick at it. Running is all to become good at running and improve at running and get that positive feedback loop going. You have to have, it's about self-development. It's about seeing the results. So it's about naturally getting faster. It's about maybe losing fat and losing weight. It's about what your goals are. So you obviously define your goals first, but start really small. And this is how I would start. So whether you're an 8-year-old kid running for the first time, whether you've not run for 20 years and you ran at school, whether you do a little bit of football at the moment or you play tennis or whatever, start like this. Just go out there for a walk. Just go out there, get your stuff on, get the right shoes or the best possible shoes you've got for running in a house. You don't need to go out and buy $200, $300 pair of shoes. Doesn't need to be like that. Just start with what you've got, the most comfortable clothes. Even if you've got a cotton t-shirt, doesn't matter. It's not about the clothing, it's about you. It's about your mentality. Now, just get out there, and after you've been walking for about 5-10 minutes, and you feel loose, so arm swings for me will just get the blood moving around the body. Yeah, just get the blood moving around the body. Maybe bring your knees up a little bit, and just get into the mindset that you're going to be running, you're going to be moving forward. Now, all we're going to do on the first session is just 10 times 1 minute, as slow as we can go. And that's the important part, as slow as we can go. Because it's more important to do it right than to do it fast, and to try and go fast and to get out of breath and not pace it right, etc. You'll learn, if you're getting into running, you'll learn that pacing at all levels, whether you're absolutely elite Olympic athlete or whether you're just getting started, pacing and consistency over the days and over the weeks are the names of the game. Yeah, so just go out there and just want you to run as slow as you possibly can. But think about your form. Just think, be light on your feet, smooth, light, then fast follows. But smooth and light on your feet. And I want you to try and land on the mid-foot. So not on the toes, not on the heels. If you're landing on your toes, your Achilles is doing too much work and it's going to put under pressure. If you're landing on your heels, if you think about it, it's literally sending a shockwave through your skeleton, which goes through your muscles, goes through your ligaments, it goes through your skeleton. It's not the way we're supposed to run. And the reason why where you do see a lot of runners landing like that is because of the amount of cushioning that we've got in our shoes. So we've been able to land, for the first time in evolution, we've been able to land on our heels, where if we were running barefoot, you would never land on your heel because it would hurt too much. So try to land mid-foot, but also try to line your toe, your ankle, your knee, and your hip up. So both are together, moving forward, very, very straight, and naturally, your arms should follow. But if you work those together, if you keep your arms naturally just very, very, very light jogging, literally this slow as you can possibly go, and just keep your arms coming up to the same level, keep them straight, keep them the same width or the same distance away from your body, and just keep it really light. That's simple. 10 times 1 minute. 5 minutes walking, 10 minutes walking, then 10 times 1 minute with about 60 seconds or 90 seconds rest in between. The most important part is you count. And you can do that on a watch. You can do it by distance. If you don't have a running watch, if you don't have a watch or any kind of time that you can count, just run 3 lampposts or 2 lampposts if you're running on the road, or run in a circle and try to measure that distance. So it's about a minute. It's that simple. It doesn't need to be complicated. What matters is each loop or each distance is around about the same. That's what matters. 10 times 1 minute with a minute rest in between. That's literally day 1. Now, don't then go out and run again on the second day. Rest. Make sure that you probably feel sore. If you've not run ever before, you're gonna feel sore in the morning. You're doing something with your body that you haven't done before. And that's great, because your body's like, what are we doing? We need to then repair in order to take that level of stress on the body to be able to do that run again, but this time be able to manage that. So leave it a day. And then the next day after that, so leave 1 day in between, the next day after that, go out and try it 10 minutes, 10 times 1 minute with 60 seconds, exactly the same session again. And try to do that for 20 days. So 10 runs within 20 days, try to get to that point. Then when you're at that point, the progressions from that are either to run a little bit more, so maybe you go to 75 seconds, and then 90 seconds, and then 2 minutes, and then 2.5 minutes, but keep that rest in between, because that's gonna, as your heart rate goes up whilst you're running, your heart rate is gonna come down. And that's important so you can manage the distance. What you'll then be able to do very, very, very quickly, because your learning curve is really steep in the beginning, or your progression curve is really steep in the beginning, is you'll then be able to patch those minutes together. And before long, when you thought this was absolutely not possible, that you could run a mile, you could run 3 kilometers, you could run 2 miles, whatever it is you're trying to do, you'll quickly get to a point where you can run 10 minutes without stopping. And that's mega, because if you can run 10 minutes without stopping, it's just a matter of training before you can run a 5K, before you can run 10K, before you can run half marathon, before you can run for an hour non-stopping, and then before you can run a marathon. No matter what your goal is, it all starts really, really, really small with just something like 10 times 1 minute. Now, if you put onto weight, and weight is going to be your ultimate goal, that you're trying to lose fat, you're trying to lose weight, just go out there and walk. Try to get a device that will track your heart rate, and try to get your heart rate above 110 whilst you're walking. If it's below 110, just try to run as slow as you possibly can, as little stress on the joints and muscles as possible, but just run in the right way, in the way that we've just said. That's simple. Start small, learn to enjoy it, learn to build it into your schedule, and then you're going to stick at it. Once you start to see the results, then you'll stick at it.